you, Peter, for that very kind introduction. I've got the slightly dry bit of this evening's proceedings, talking about what Grassroots Out is all about and how you can help. Don't you just hate those films where the main characters spend their whole lives bickering and everybody else is looking on in bemusement, thinking, what is going on? And all too often, that's what our politics is like in this country, much to the bemusement of all of you and everyone across our great country. They're frustrated with it. They've had enough. They want to see politicians getting together on the issues where they agree. And that's why we've got a box office lineup tonight, and why I want to do my dry bit and get out of the way so that they can tell you about why there are so many key issues behind why we should be voting to leave when this referendum comes round. I remember being at a conference here, a Conservative Party conference, and the slogan was working together in the national interest. Well, that is exactly what we are doing here tonight, working together in the national interest. And that theme goes to the very heart of Go. So why Go? Well, firstly, we've potentially got such a short amount of time in which to campaign to win this referendum. We've heard a lot this week about the Prime Minister's attempted renegotiation, and I certainly blame the European elite for the fact that he's been able to bring back so little. But we are potentially looking at a referendum date of June the 23rd. Just 20 odd weeks. That is absolutely no time at all in which to get out there and campaign to win. In Corby and East Northamptonshire, I had 2 years with the help of my team to get out there, to knock on the doors, to find out what issues mattered most to my constituents. I still do that work now, but we had 2 years to do that in advance of the general election. And we need to put aside all of our political differences, all of those wranglings that have gone on in the past, all of those disputes that people have had, all of those petty fallouts that politicians have had. They don't matter at all. They really, really, really don't matter. And equally, at the top, we're hearing a lot at the moment about this issue of designation. But people out there in the country don't recognise a battle about designation. What they recognise is the importance of getting our great country out of the European Union, and we should always focus on that point rather than personalities and that battle for designation. And each and every one of us need to spread our message. So that's why Go. But what is it? Well, what we're going to do, we're going to develop a task force structure in every constituency in this country. 650 constituencies, 650 task forces, where we all get together on a Saturday morning, we have a cup of coffee, talk about the referendum, talk about what's going on in the campaign, talk about the key issues that we're picking up on the doorstep, and then we're going to get out there and we're going to knock on doors and we're going to talk to residents up and down our land. And that camaraderie is so important. It is so important. I know that from my own constituency experience. The incredibly loyal, hard-working, dedicated team of volunteers, people who put their lives on hold in many circumstances and many instances to help me get elected at the general election. And we need to get that sort of camaraderie going in order to win this referendum too. The fact is that this referendum will be won door by door, vote by vote. And I know that you're all wondering how you can help. Well, on each of your chairs is one of these cards. And everybody will be able to help in different ways. Some of you will want to come and knock on doors. Some of you might not mind delivering a few leaflets in your street. Some of you will be just in a position to perhaps donate. And some of you will be in a position to only be able to lend us your vote. All of those are extremely valid and important contributions to this campaign. So please do fill in your card and let us know how you can help, and leave it in one of the boxes at the back of the hall when you leave. And also, please come along to your local task force meetings. Some have already kicked off. In Wellingborough last Saturday, we had the first meeting in North Northamptonshire. We had 100 people turn up. And it was great to see people who'd been political opponents of mine over the years coming together on this common cause. 100 people turned up to go out and knock on doors in Wellingborough to campaign on this vital issue. And it was quite interesting because afterwards we went for a cup of coffee and sat round the table with me were 2 senior UKIP figures from the local area. We got the chairman of the local Labour organising committee, and we got the chairman of the local Conservative Association. You can't get much more cross-party than that. So please do come along. We launched in Wellingborough, as I say, last Saturday. Last night we launched in Durham. Tonight a group are meeting in St Albans, and I know that next weekend they're meeting in Shipley, and more of these groups are going to be getting going in the next few weeks. So please come along. And again, I just want to emphasise how crucial all of this work is going to be. And I'm sure that all of you have had this propaganda from the other side come through your door. And I tell you, I have to pick a few bones with it, because actually some of the claims that are made in this is shocking. I mean, I for one have absolutely no beef whatsoever with Europe, but I do have beef with the European Union. And during the coalition years, Nick Clegg used to talk about 3 million jobs being lost in our economy if we left the European Union. Frankly, that's utter claptrap, but it's repeated on this leaflet for all in our country to see. We need to get out there and we need to put that myth to bed. And the argument's also made that Britain's economy is stronger in Europe on that leaflet. But that's of very little comfort to steelworkers in my constituency and up and down our country, where, frankly, the European Union has failed to tackle Chinese dumping, failed to take the steps necessary to deal with that. And state aid rules are getting in the way. I have briefings every week with UK Steel and steel-related groups and individuals, and I'm left so frustrated that we're being let down by the European Union in dealing with that issue. And I know that if we were dealing with that issue in our own country and our own government was able to take the action required, we would be in a much better place. And that's why we must win this referendum, door by door, vote by vote. And together we will do just that.
You didn't frankly have the balls to put country before party.